Liverpool's 2-0 win over Aston Villa was more than just another victory. It was a tactical masterclass by Arne Slot, with Mo Salah and Darwin Nunez leading the charge and Villa's passive pressing approach exploited to perfection. Liverpool now sit 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League. Let's break down how the Reds controlled this game from start to finish. Liverpool's fluid formation shifts were a nightmare for Villa's defense. The constant movement in midfield allowed Liverpool to seamlessly transition between 4-4 and a 4-2-3-3, creating fresh passing lanes as Villa struggled to keep up. Villa tried to control the central areas with zonal marking, but Van Dijk's on-ball skill was a real game changer here. His ability to disguise passes, throw in feints, and slip the ball through gaps in the defense gave Liverpool the edge. Van Dijk's precise distribution found Gravenberch time and again, who then turned on his trademark speed, bursting forward and adding a dynamic element to Liverpool's attack. This tactical combination kept Villa off balance and opened up opportunities for the Reds. Aston Villa's lack of pressing intensity was a key factor here. They have been one of the least aggressive pressing teams this season, with a PPDA of 12.20, meaning they allow more passes per defensive action. And in this game, Villa stayed true to that approach, maintaining a high PPDA, which is visible when compared to Liverpool's much lower, more intense pressing numbers. This gave Liverpool the freedom to dictate play and build attacks with less pressure on the ball, essentially letting them control the tempo and patiently break down Villa. It's a great example of how Villa's passive style worked against them. The tactical battle between Villa's deep build-up and Liverpool's 4-4 out-of-possession setup created some intriguing moments. Villa's attempt to pass the ball to Carlos was clearly designed to bet Liverpool into pressing, and this is where Nunez's role was crucial. He stepped out from the first line of pressure to engage at an angle, forcing Villa into a decision. In the center of the field, Liverpool maintained a man-to-man arrangement, ensuring Villa couldn't easily play through their midfield. Meanwhile, down the channel, Liverpool enjoyed a 5 versus 4 advantage, with Robertson positioning as the free man of the ball. This allowed Liverpool to control the wide areas and force Villa to play into their hands, dictating the flow of the game and limiting Villa's options. Now, Villa's passive pressing isn't necessarily a flawed approach. It can be effective in some cases, but it does give opponents more time and space on the ball, and Liverpool used that to full effect here. With extra time to shape their attacks, the Reds could dismantle Villa's defensive structure, find gaps, and exploit spaces. Looking at Liverpool's passing network, you can see how they focused heavily on central progression. They moved the ball from centre backs through to the midfield, but it wasn't just about getting forward quickly. Liverpool showed patience, often recycling possession to wait for passing lanes to open up. This disciplined approach allowed them to advance with precision, picking their moments to break Villa's lines. Liverpool's build-up was both patient and progressive, carefully moving the ball upfield while minimizing any counter-attacking threat. Slot's tactical awareness was key here. He understood exactly where Villa's press would come from, and he knew they would set up in a 4-4-2 formation. Villa tried to maintain their shape and avoid being provoked into pressing too early, but Liverpool cleverly edged forward, drawing Villa out. By keeping the ball moving and waiting for their right moments, Liverpool were able to pull Villa's defensive block out of possession without ever leaving themselves exposed to the counter. This balance of patience and precision allowed the Reds to control the tempo while neutralizing Villa's ability to launch quick attacks. Liverpool's shape allowed them to create a 3 versus 2 advantage in the center of the pitch, as Villa kept an extra man in their defensive line. This gave Liverpool control of the middle third, but breaking that first line of pressure wasn't easy, with Villa's 2 deeper forwards ready to block progression. However, Van Dijk's ability to provoke Villa's forwards was key. By drawing them out of possession, he created just enough space to find Gravenberch, who was perfectly positioned to receive the ball and move it forward. This tactical shift allowed Liverpool to bypass Villa's pressing setup and advance into more dangerous areas, demonstrating how Van Dijk's leadership and passing range are pivotal in breaking through defensive lines. Once Gravenberch broke the first line of pressure, Jones and McAllister were quick to exploit the space, positioning themselves in the half space to break Villa's midfield line. Their movement was key, as they didn't just stay central. They also had the freedom to move wider and link up with the wide forwards. This dynamic allowed Liverpool to stretch Villa's defensive block and create overloads in the wide areas, giving their forwards more opportunities to make runs or combine in dangerous positions. This fluidity between the midfield and attack made it difficult for Villa to contain Liverpool, as the Reds constantly shifted their position to open up new passing lanes and destabilize Villa's shape. Liverpool's flat fullbacks were crucial in reducing the threat of any counter-attacks. By staying compact and close to defensive line, the fullbacks kept the passing distance short, allowing for quicker ball circulation. If possession was lost, the structure of four players covering the three central channels ensured they were well positioned to quick recover and prevent Villa from exploiting any spaces. In possession, Liverpool's patience was key. They didn't rush the build-up, waiting for Villa's player to jump out of position. As soon as Villa players pressed, Liverpool's structure on the next line enabled them to progress the ball efficiently, creating space and opportunities to move forward without being hurried. This tactical discipline and control allowed the Reds to dominate possession and keep Villa on the back foot. In my view, Liverpool's best build-up moments came in the final minutes of the first half. There was one particular sequence, starting at 47.29 and lasting until 48:38, that perfectly encapsulated their patient, controlled style. During this short passage of play, Liverpool completed 21 passes, steadily advancing the ball and drawing Villa out of position. This sequence really showcased their ability to maintain composure and control, constantly recycling possession to open up spaces. It wasn't until Pau Torres made a last-ditch clearance that Villa were able to break up the attack. But by then, Liverpool had already shown how they could methodically break down the opposition's structure. Let's break down that sequence because it's a brilliant example of how Liverpool used patience to draw Villa out of position. Van Dijk was crucial here, holding on to the ball instead of recycling possession quickly. By playing a 1-2 with McAllister, he baited Villa's press further up the pitch. Then, Liverpool's captain dropped even deeper, passing the ball back to Kelleher, who played it cool by placing his studs on the ball, almost daring Villa to press. This moment was all about drawing Villa in. Van Dijk, Konate, and Kelleher continued circulating the ball, almost overeating passes intentionally to tempt Villa to push higher. And it worked. Villa eventually bit and moved up the pitch, leaving gaps in their defensive structure. Once they did, Liverpool pounced. Quick, precise bounce passes between Kelleher, Gravenberch, and Konate slides through Villa's pressing lines. From there, Konate released Bradley, who fed Curtis Jones, and suddenly Liverpool were exploiting the space with clinical efficiency. It's textbook positional play and perfect game management. While Liverpool's ability to progress the ball through Villa's lines was impressive, it wasn't a perfect performance. At times, they struggled to stretch Villa's defensive shape enough to open up those key passing lanes. Despite Gravenberch's strong display, playing in the more metronomic role than usual, it was clear that Liverpool lacked that one midfielder who could consistently control the tempo. A player who could link the play more fluidly between the defense and attack would have made their build-up even smoother. At moments, the Reds looked a little disjointed in that transitional phase, missing that creative spark to keep the ball moving at a higher pace. When the ball stayed in Villa's right channel, Liverpool's defensive shape really started to shine. McAllister and Jones quickly pressed the Villa double pivot, cutting off their passing options and forcing them into uncomfortable situations. On the right wing, Salah left his usual right wing spot to step inside and block any passes between Villa's centre backs. This made it much harder for Villa to execute a switch of play to the opposition side, limiting their ability to progress the ball. And when Villa tried to play a channel pass, Robertson was perfectly positioned to intercept, creating a turnover and allowing Liverpool to quickly regain possession. This coordinated movement from the midfield and wide players disrupted Villa's build-up and showed how well Liverpool's pressing structure can nullify an opponent's tactics. Against Liverpool's mid-block, Villa managed to create dangerous 2 versus 1 situations down the left channel. As Villa's centre backs shifted positions, Jones was forced to step up, while Nunez had to track Tillmans. This moment stretched Liverpool's defensive shape and created spaces for Villa to exploit. On the left, Ramsey dropped deep to receive the ball, putting Bradley in a tough spot. With Digne making a run from left back, Bradley had to decide whether to press Ramsey or cover the run. Ultimately, Bradley dropped up, and Ramsey received the ball on the turn, giving Villa a chance to advance and put pressure on Liverpool's defense. This moment highlighted how Villa exploited gaps in Liverpool's structure and the importance of quick decision making for the Reds in those situations. When Carlos attempted to play the pass to Ramsey, Liverpool's defensive structure became much more compact, reducing Villa's options. Jones, by covering Tillmans, made it harder for any Villa player to break out of the double pivot and provide support to Ramsey. With fewer Villa players around Ramsey, Bradley was able to step up with greater security, knowing there was less risk of being caught out by a quick pass of run. This compactness also meant there was less space for Ramsey to turn into, limiting his ability to create an effective forward pass or attack. Liverpool's discipline in maintaining their shape was key here, preventing Villa from exploiting the left channel and neutralizing Ramsey's influence on the game. Despite Villa attempting to build from deep, they struggled to create meaningful connections in their attack. Liverpool's narrow block was highly effective, shutting down any central progression and forcing Villa into predictable patterns. One key issue for Villa was their lack of variation in play, particularly in their use of switches and long balls. They completed only 10 out of 25 long passes, with just one attempted switch to play, which is a stark contrast to how dynamic teams typically break down a pressing side. Additionally, Villa's wingers were often too deep in the build-up, which significantly limited their involvement in the attack. With little support in advanced positions, Villa's offensive play lacked the necessary width and depth to stretch Liverpool's defense, making it much easier for the Reds to control the game. As the season has progressed, Liverpool's defenders, particularly Van Dijk, have become more comfortable and effective with the ball at their feet. Van Dijk now has a better understanding of the passing patterns and how to identify the free player, allowing him to make more decisive, accurate passes that help progress play. Slot has emphasized minimizing risk in the build-up, and this approach has paid off. By making more calculated passes and maintaining control, Liverpool are able to achieve the same attacking rewards without exposing themselves to unnecessary risk. This tactical maturity has given the team a solid foundation to build from, with the defenders playing a key role in setting the tempo and progressing the ball with precision. In summary, Liverpool's 2-0 victory over Aston Villa wasn't just a result of individual brilliance from players like Salah and Nunez, but also a showcase of their tactical evolution under Arne Slot. The Reds exploited Villa's passive pressing approach, patiently building from the back and controlling the game with impressive positional play. With Van Dijk and the defenders orchestrating the tempo and the midfielders intelligently breaking lines, Liverpool displayed a mature, measured approach that minimized risk while still creating significant attacking rewards. Villa's struggles to break through Liverpool's compact and disciplined structure only highlighted the Reds' growing tactical cohesion, both defensively and offensively. As Liverpool continue to refine these patterns, they will only become more dangerous as they push for the title. For Slot and his side, this performance was another step forward in their quest for Premier League dominance. If you enjoyed this tactical breakdown and want to see more insights on Liverpool's performances, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Let me know in the comments what you think of Liverpool's tactical evolution under Slot and how they can continue to build on this form. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.